We're scraping, we're scrounging, we're looking for things to talk about as Celtics season is soon to get underway. We expect training camps to open later this month, and then we're off and running. Until then, let's play the fun speculation game.
Yes.
A ton of talk about Bradley Beal. He's been the area of focus, and again, the roster is set, nothing changes, but everyone's always looking for that big fish, the bigger and better thing. It's always been Beal. He's always been the target, his connection to Tatum. But our friend Gary Washburn over at the Boston Globe threw a name out there. And again, this isn't a sourced report, and we're not trying to be clicky or throw hot takes out there. It's just informed speculation. A guy who could make sense, and it's an interesting one to talk about, is Jason Tatum's Olympic teammate, Zach Lavine, the Chicago Bulls. He's going to be a free agent. He's going to want a max deal, and might be someone they might look at if the Beal thing doesn't come through and they can't find any way to make Beal happen. Again, we're going to see what happens if Beal signs his super duper ultra max deal with Washington and how that's going to affect things as well. So it's an interesting name. It's fun to kick around. Your thoughts on Lavine and his fit with the Celtics, since they're definitely going to sign him next year?
Well, it's interesting. I want to slip that in there. Glad I'm paying attention.
Since he's definitely coming.
Absolutely. He'll be here. I'll be the one picking him up at the airport and everything. No sweat. No, the thing about Zach Lavine that I like is how his game has evolved. I mean, he came into the league as basically a one-dimensional shot chucker who really was all about getting his points. And he has kind of evolved to being a little bit more of a two-way type of player. Isn't quite there yet, but certainly is trending in that direction. You look at his numbers. His numbers aren't that different from Tatum's. He averaged better than 27 points a game last season, shot better than 41% from three-point range, which I was really surprised.
His splits are unreal. He was almost a 50-40 yeah, I mean, he shot. I mean, he was outrageously efficient last year.
Yeah, and if you're Brad Stevens loves as many highly efficient players as possible. Any coach would love that type of player, but obviously there's a certain amount of salary cap gymnastics that the Celtics would have to do in order to get something done, even next offseason. But it makes a lot of sense because one of the things that Danny Ainge talked all the time about, and Brad Stevens to a certain extent has as well, is if there's a good player out there and they're available, we have to do our due diligence and see if there's a way that we can at least explore the possibility of getting something done. And Zach Lavine makes a lot of sense when you look at his age, you look at his talent, you look at his ability, and you look at the direction that his overall game is going as someone that if you're the Boston Celtics, at a minimum, you got to kick the tires around and see if there's something there.
Yeah, and I like him, and I actually like the fit here better than Beal. If that were something they would consider, and it was 51-42, and it was 85% free throw. So again, almost that 50-40-90, which is not a lot of people can get to that plateau. And he was almost there last year. A really, really outstanding year. Kind of went under the radar just because of who he plays for. So again, speculation, just something Gary threw out there, but an interesting name to consider as you start to think and wonder, is there another star coming? Is there another shoe to drop at some point or another? But certainly nothing that's going to affect this season